actually makes me really emo. I wasn't expecting that. They're about to get crazy. I used to also want to punch her in the face, and we actually just found out some big tea. What? What is happening to me right now? I'm literally so obsessed. I'm just simply not calling him that horrid vegetable of a name. I'm just not. Oh, we're gonna have some words. I'm sorry. No, it actually hits. Please don't be mad. A little underwhelming. And I said, I'm sorry, but you were simply incorrect. Like, why am I getting so sentimental? I understand why people get that tattooed on their body, so. Like, what do you mean? Honestly, I really wasn't expecting that. Hello. You guys, I'm so excited to be actually like starting this vlog. I'm 34 pages into Heir. I had read not last night, but the night before, and I didn't read anything yesterday just because I was feeling a little slumpy. So I was like, I don't want to force myself to read it and then like feel like I'm not enjoying it. But right now it is 2:41, and truthfully, I wanted to like spend the whole day and like binge the book, but that didn't happen clearly because here I am doom scrolling. Anyways, not much has happened, obviously, because I'm only 30 pages in, but 30 pages in and we've already met Manon and we've also already met Rowan. So those are two big characters I know that follow throughout the series. It's weird, honestly, to kind of see Selena not be in the same place as Cole and Dorian right now, because obviously that's where like the main part of the first two books are, is like she's with them and like having interactions with both of them like on the regular. Like to see now that they are just like not in the same, like literally not even the same place at all, like nowhere near each other, and it's just like kind of weird because I'm like, okay, so like is that the way it's gonna be for the rest of the series, or is it like just for a little bit of this book? It's so weird. I don't know. This is how many pages? It's over 560 something pages, which isn't bad. The other ones were just over 4. If I lock in, I can definitely get a good chunk of this done. Then obviously, as you guys know, like this is slightly a little bit of a spoiler, but it's not. I just should say as the beginning of the vlog, if you're never someone who has, if you've never read Throne of Glass before, this isn't like top secret information, but it's just at the end of technically the second book, at the end of Crown of Midnight, Selena is sent on another mission. So basically the mission that she's going on, she's in a completely different part, I think of the continent, or she's in a completely different part of the continent. I'm not really sure, but she's sent there on a mission and she's here now. Like that's where she is. Don't know how long she's gonna be there for. Yeah, I have no theories. I have actually no theories as of yet. I mean, I have theories about the series in general, as you guys know from the first episode, but yeah. So like, if you've never read Throne of Glass before, like she is currently, I'm not gonna say where it is. I'm not gonna say where it is because I honestly don't even remember the name, but she is sent somewhere else on a mission, and that's where she is, and that's what's going on. So I've actually been reading for quite a while now. I'm on page 89 and on chapter 12. I feel like for as long as I've been reading, I have not gotten that far into the book, and I really thought like I could sit here and binge this and I'd be good. I feel like I'm just reading at a really slow pace, which is like fine. I just thought I would be like devouring all these books a little more, like a little faster. The other thing I realized is that I don't do well with books that are told in third person. So because there's like so much you have to know and so many POVs within this, like it being told in third person makes more sense. I feel like I do struggle because I don't feel like I connect to the characters so much as when they are in like first person. So like I feel like I connect with Fourth Wing so much because I'm in Violet's point of view. Like I'm always in Violet's point of view and in her head and in her brain. So like I'm seeing and feeling everything that she's seeing and feeling. And it's just being described in such a almost like more personal way. Whereas this, it's being told in the third person. So it's like you're like looking into it rather than living it, which I find very hard. Not hard, just something I don't connect with as easily. Like now that I'm not enjoying the series, because I am. Okay, so we're not gonna get that mixed up. I also feel like maybe the hype around this series is like, maybe I'm just not to the hype, like the giant hype of the series yet. And I'm still kind of in the like small midst of like still learning so much and meeting all these people to really get to like the big hunk of the story, where I feel like a lot of people say they love Queen of Shadows, which is the next book. So I'm kind of hoping that like in that one, I feel a little bit more connected and into the story, because a lot of people say they like fly through that one because they really enjoyed it. So I'm really kind of hoping that's kind of the case, and that maybe by the end of this one, I'll be more attached to everyone and to everything, even though I've already read 3 books in the series. But I just, like I said, like, it also could be because I think I'm in a reading slump. Like, I think I'm a little bit slumpy, and obviously reading honkers in a fantasy series is not necessarily like the best thing, but it's also not the worst thing, because if I'm in a reading slump, like, this could get me out of it, you know? This could be what helps me out, but then this could also put me into a deeper reading slump, because if I end up really enjoying it by the end, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I feel with like Fourth Wing. Yeah, so I just want to come on here and say that, because I feel like I'm just like not connecting as well because it's told in the third person. And you know what? I felt the same way with A Court of Silver Flames, because it took me forever to read it. Not that I didn't like it, because I knew so much about Nesta already. Like, we were already like told so much information from the rest of the series about her that I feel like I really liked and connected with her character a lot more, even though it was told in third person. But this one, I feel like because it's always in third person and there's no first person POV to really connect with and like you have that driving force from, I'm just like struggling a bit. There is not much to update you on. Honestly, nothing has really happened yet. We're still getting all in the build-up phase of this book in particular, because there's, again, so many POVs that we have to go into, because now we have Celaena's, we're getting Manon's, Dorian, and Cole's that we're getting, and then we'll probably end up getting someone else's eventually, like the king at the end or something again, you know what I mean? Like, so we'll eventually have like 5 different POVs, which I know it's kind of just like gearing up for what's to come, because I know the other books like have so many, you get so many characters, which is a good thing and a bad thing, like I'm saying, you know what I mean? Because like there's just so much more information you learn, but I'm learning this information, then I get to a new chapter, then it switches POVs, and I'm kind of like, oh, I'm not invested in this person right now, you know what I mean? So things like that. Anyways, that's all I wanted to update you on. I guess I will give you a bigger update later, which will probably, depending on what happens within the next, I don't know, like 20-30 minutes while reading, that I'll probably stay up here, probably be in my bed like usual. So I feel like so much, yet so little has happened in the amount that I've read since I've last updated you. I'm still really not that far into the book. I'm only 163 pages in. Like, I'm really like trying to figure out what I can and cannot say for non-spoiler reasons, obviously, of like what has happened, because like I had said in my last clip, we are in so many POVs that sometimes it is hard for me to like connect. I'm not finding it as much as I'm going into it, because like things are like now ramping up, I feel like, or like things are starting to like pick up slightly in certain parts of it, so it's like making me more interested. I read one part and then next thing I know I'm in a different person's point of view, and so I'm not as connected to it, and I'm kind of like, oh. I'm trying to think, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? Because like we're still following Celaena, obviously, on her mission of where she went after Crown of Midnight. We're still following Cole and Dorian, who are in, why am I forgetting the names of everything? Adarlan. I'm not forgetting the name. I just like can't remember how I pronounce it in my head. Adarlan. There we go. Adarlan. I don't know where the N was coming from. We're still following Cole and Dorian, obviously, in Adarlan, and how all of that is going with everything that you found out in Crown of Midnight with both of them, which granted, Cole, not so much of anything. There was a lot of information that Cole learned at the end of Crown of Midnight that you're now like following him through here, and then Dorian with his own struggles and his own things that he's like trying to figure out that we're following. Gotten like the new characters, there's like a new plot line that we are following now, which is obviously going to keep us with the overarching plotline. But I did see a spoiler on my TikTok yesterday and I'm very annoyed about it. I wasn't like looking for it, obviously. One of my TikToks, one of like the thing at the bottom, you know how sometimes like it will be like, oh, like the little search bar at the bottom will tell you. So it said Dorian at the bottom, Dorian Havillard, Third of Glass. And I was like, oh, well, let me like click on it so that I can see like maybe like fan art of him, because I'm not struggling to picture him. I honestly love to have a fan art or AI generated picture in my head of what the characters look like, because I personally prefer that over real people. Sue me. So I was looking for that, and then I saw a spoiler. And it's not a big spoiler, like, at all. It's not really like a big plot spoiler, I feel like. It was just more of like a relationship spoiler. So I was kind of like, okay, it's not that big of a deal, but it was something that I was like, oh, I would have much rather have been surprised. But now I know it's happening. And I think it's for the next book as well. So like, I'm really not that far off from it. It's literally for Queen of Shadows, I think. Or maybe even just to the end of this one, who knows. That's all I can tell you, I guess, about Heir Fire so far. Like, it's going good. We're not following Selena as much as you'd think. We're learning so much about her and so much about like what her character is going to bring to the rest of the series, because obviously like what she's going through right now is like so big to like get you to where we're going. Like I said, we have met Rowan and we've met Manon, and we haven't gotten a POV of Rowan at all, but we do get Manon's POV. But back to Rowan and stuff like that. So that's where Selena is. Selena is with Rowan. I don't think that's really like a spoiler, because like you don't know what she's doing with him, but she's just like with him on this like mission that she's been sent on, right? So like he's just someone who was there, not someone that she knew prior, just someone that she met while she was there, and who's obviously becoming a big part of this story, and is now like, you know, not having any like relation. It's just like someone she's working with, essentially, which I hope is like enough vague context to give you like something of where we are with her. Things are just happening, things I can't tell you, things I can't say. So yeah, I am gonna read. Almost 6 o'clock. I just need to breathe. Kind of wish I was like more through the book already, but I'm not. And that's okay. I also just need to learn to slow down, which I have been, because honestly, like, not that, like I keep saying, not that it's not like entertaining. It's just that the multiple POVs, especially being in third person, makes it really hard for me to connect and want to like stick with the story when it's like that. So exactly 200 pages in now, and now I'm hooked. Like, now I'm hooked, because honestly, things are getting good. Things are heating up, okay? Again, I don't know what else I can tell you that's like not a spoiler. I'm just gonna leave it at that for you guys. Okay, things are heating up. Things are heating up for me, and I'm having a good time. I've decided to give you a different angle to spice things up a bit, because I'm still in my bed as I am always. I'm halfway through Heir Fire. I don't think I've really updated you much throughout the book. Things are getting like really good. Like, I'm honestly like super into it. I'm just always so tired and just feeling so slumpy that like, even though I'm enjoying the book, I find it hard just to even pick up the book. But once I have the book in my hand and I'm physically reading it, like putting it down is like hard. Like, I don't want to put it down. Like, I don't want to go to bed and stuff like that, like when I'm reading it. So I'm like, okay. I did actually have to put it down like halfway through a chapter last night though, because my husband came to bed, so I had to stop reading. But I am halfway through Heir Fire right now, and it's going very, very good. There's just so many POVs. Again, still, we're getting some new ones as well, and we're getting some more information to kind of gear us up into Queen of Shadows. I'm excited to see where this one goes, because I have no idea. I say this every single time. I have no idea where it's going at all. Like, I don't know where she could possibly take us, truthfully, to get to Queen of Shadows. I don't know. I also don't know anything about Queen of Shadows, so like, there's that as well. With that being said, it's going really well, and I'm excited to keep going. Alright, you guys, it's time to lock in. I'm on chapter 48, 413 pages in to Heir Fire. It's basically 4:30. I want to finish this book today, okay? I have been reading Heir Fire for like, I think over a week maybe now. Frankly, that's just like too long for me to be reading a book. Like, there's any time frame. You can read at your own pace. But I personally like don't like the fact that it's taking me so long to read this book, because I am enjoying it. And I just know it's because I'm getting so distracted all the time while I'm reading it. And so my phone, other side of the room, she's nowhere near me, okay? We are locking in. I want to finish her today because I have less than 200 pages left at this point, I think. Everything's going good. I actually don't even remember the last thing I updated you on about the book. Selena's going through a lot. She's learning to hone everything that she's been taught. I'm trying to be vague because this is non-spoilers. Honestly, I feel like from the beginning of the book to where we are now, we've lost the plot a little bit. I don't know, like, it's weird because I'm like, is that on purpose? Because is Queen of Shadows going to, obviously it's going to be a continuation of this, but like, is Queen of Shadows going to pick up still kind of in the middle of the story, if that makes sense? As you guys know, like, Selena was sent on a mission to Wendelin because she's the king's champion. But literally, like, yes, there's still stuff going on that you find out about in the kingdom of Adarlan, but like, you don't really hear anything. You're really following, like I said, you're following Manon, who's a witch that you meet in this one, which is not a spoiler because she is a character that is popular within the series. You meet Manon, who's a witch, and then you follow her story, what she's doing during this time. You do follow Dorian, you follow Cole, you follow Selena, and Dorian and Cole obviously are in Adarlan. So like, you're finding out information that way and what's going on there, but like, you're not finding out a lot. Like, there's nothing that you're really learning about really what's going on there. Like, there is like some stuff that you're learning that's kind of like, okay, like it makes sense to the story, but obviously because it's spoilers, like I don't want to say anything. But I feel like we're slowly, like, we've lost the plot a little bit, especially from where we've started the book, because like I said, she was sent to Wendelin on a mission for the king because she's the king's champion. Granted, like, I knew from the beginning, and you would know from the beginning if you read the book, or when you do read the book, the mission is kind of, she in her brain is disregarding the mission anyways, like, for any reason, you know what I mean? Like, she's just disregarding it. She doesn't care about it. So then it leads to something else and leads to a lot more of other things that are going on, if that makes sense. Like, a lot more that we're learning about her as a character, a lot more that we're learning about in general of other characters and things like that. So that's what we're doing, you know? That's where we're at. So I feel like we've lost the plot from there because there was a certain like thing that was going on from the beginning, and then we just lost it, and like, it's kind of gone. And like, stuff from the other books as well, that like, answers she's trying to figure out here, that one of the characters says that they know things about, but they're not going to tell her until this point. And it's like, I feel like it is hardly been mentioned. It's like not something that's been talked about, like how it was talked about so much in the first two books. Like, this one is not really mentioning it at all. Obviously, this is more of like, I feel like her, because it's called Heir, right? So this is more of like her rise of her character, right? So not necessarily being someone's like weapon, she's becoming her own weapon in a sense. Like, the best way I can describe it without like being a spoiler, like learning to be her own weapon and not being weaponized for other people, if that makes sense. Like, she's already was her own weapon in a way, in the way of like not being controlled by someone else, or like being under someone else's like jurisdiction in a way, if that makes sense. Like, that's the best way I can describe it without spoiling anything that's going on. Like I said, let's get reading. I just got to the to whatever end part. Honestly, it hits as good as what everyone makes it out to be. Like, it really, I wasn't expecting that at all. And it hits. It actually hits. I understand why people get that tattooed on their body, so I think I understand. I don't know. I might not understand yet because it hasn't, I assume it comes back up at another point. I assume it does, but I don't know. But it's going good. It's going good. We're on page 427, so. You guys, so literally, sorry, I'm in my bed now. I'm 490 pages in, and I was gonna wait until I got like 500 pages in because then I only had 60 pages left, but now I have around like 70-ish because the 500 mark is like, that doesn't matter, almost done. I literally am like 90%. So much has happened that I can't even explain. Like, literally, all the information that you found out, it's just like almost like a word vomit. Like, I almost don't know how to process it all. Just because the book series is so long, it doesn't feel as like me just like jaw dropping. in a way, because I feel like you're finding out so much and there's still just like so much that you don't know. Like, so like the big thing that you found out in this one was kind of the whole intention of the book, like the whole, like, not necessarily the plot, that's not like right, because actually kind of in a way it is. The reason that she got sent on this mission because she wanted to find out this information, which, like I was saying before, I felt like we lost the plot a little bit because I was like, okay, well, we're not doing anything that is like really related to this, even though we were, but we weren't, because it just didn't feel like that. It was just so much stuff that was happening. And then she figured out the information on her own because she was originally going to someone to figure out this information. So yeah, like she figured it all out, and like we kind of got the answer for, or like she figured out the answer for, but we still don't know like what that means. And like we found out more information about like other things that are happening and other things that are going on, and like why things are the way that they are within the, like, the kingdom and Darlin and stuff like that. So much has happened, like so much information has been given to you, and it doesn't feel like as like jaw-dropping as I feel like it could have been if, like, you know, if it's like a 3-book series or like a 5-book series, you know, when you're making the connection. But it's 8 books and she literally has like so much to still go through. Like this is technically, well, technically if you want to get technical, it's 7 books because Assassin's Blade is the prequel, so everything before that or everything after that is like the rest of the books, you know? So like I'm on the 3rd book, so it would be 4 books left. I'm gonna finish reading it, and I don't know if the ending's gonna be wild, because the past few ones, like the ending has not been like so crazy, if that makes sense. Like it's been like a normal pace to the ending of a book, like a fantasy book and stuff like that, where you know there's going to be another one, so she doesn't need to leave it off on this like big cliffhanger, you know what I mean? But I have no idea. I feel like the ending of this book could be so crazy. Like it could actually be wild, which sets you up for Queen of Shadows, because part of me is like, okay, so is Queen of Shadows like wild? Like, because so many people love Queen of Shadows, like from this series, they're like, that's their favorite one. I don't know if it's like setting up for something crazy to happen there and then this is gonna end crazy, or what. So I guess we'll see. I'm on chapter 64, you guys. I think things are about to get crazy. I think the ending of this one's probably gonna be crazy. I'm 540 pages in and I have 20-ish pages left. Yeah, 562 of this book. So I'm gonna read. Well, we finished. Honestly, it was like the few chapters beforehand that were crazy with the king, but other than that, the ending not too crazy. It's like definitely leaves you like on edge for what's gonna happen in the next one, because even with Manon, like you got a short little chapter of her at the end of like what they were asked to do, and I'm like, oh. And even everything with Cole and with Aiden, I'm like, oh. And Dorian, that one was crazy too. Like the what with Dorian, that was crazy. Okay. But yeah, I'm excited to go into Queen of Shadows. I'm gonna start that tomorrow and update you guys then, because I don't have anything else to say to you guys right now. Just getting my next book. Please don't be mad. Please don't be mad. I am, how many pages? 224 pages into Queen of Shadows. And have I updated you or talked to you once? No, I have not. Please don't be angry. And I low-key like hate when I do this to myself, because I don't know what I left off on with Heir. Like I don't even know what I said to you guys about Heir, if I even talked about Heir after or anything like that. I literally ended and was like, okay, I'm gonna go into Queen of Shadows. Literally read 224 pages before I have said anything. Anyway, let's do a little recap of everything that I've read so far. Basically pick up almost directly where we left off with Heir. I think it starts like 2 weeks after Heir has already ended, just because of like a travel system going on and everything. So she's back in Darlin. Things have happened. Things have gone down, and it actually makes me really emo. I am actually so emo over some of the things that have happened in this, which obviously I won't say because they are spoilers, but I will say for our spoiler section. There's so much going on in this book that I really like can't share or say anything about, because it's obviously all spoiler. Like literally so much is going on, and it's honestly such a good read. This one is so good. Like this one has picked up so dramatically for me, where the other ones where I felt like, okay, like it felt like so many different different stories just all in one book, and I didn't feel very connected to anyone. And where, especially with Heir, like Heir, because with Selena not being in Adarlan, like seeing Selena, Cole, Dorian, Manon, and all of them, like all of their stories, like not interacting with each other whatsoever and being at different parts of the continent, different parts of their own story. Like it was not hard to keep track of, but it was just hard to connect because they were all in different places. Like none of them were interacting with each other except for like Cole and Dorian. Also, another thing, someone commented on one of my TikToks the other day and was like, actually it's KL, not Cole, and that it's Manon and not Manon. And I also saw an interview with Sarah J. Maas also calling her Manon. And I said, I'm sorry, but you were simply incorrect. I said, Sarah, I'm sorry, I know you're the author, but you are simply incorrect. Because what do you mean? I've been calling this bitch Manon this whole time. And Cole, I simply will not call him that horrid vegetable. I simply will not. I'm sorry. He will be Cole to me, not KL or Kale, however people say it, because how are you gonna, honestly, how are you gonna spell his name like that? Choal. Right? That's how he spells it. Let me just double check because I think I was wrong for a slight second. Yeah, Chaol. Chaol. How are you going to spell his name like that and then say his name's KL? I'm sorry. No. Or even Kale. I'm sorry. Where's the E? Where are the letters that would spell that name? Because they're simply just not really here. Like, how are you gonna do that? His name is like Cole. It should be Cole. Why? Who is this KL? I'm just simply not calling him that horrid vegetable of a name. I'm just not. Anyways, after that, I am done with my rant. Sorry. Where was I? I think I was talking about Heir for a quick second. Anyways, but yeah, so it was so hard to connect everyone because everyone was so like in different places. The only people that were interacting within their own chapters were Cole and Dorian, and everyone else had their own. So it was like all separate storylines. So it was hard for me to feel like I was connecting to everything and feeling like I wanted to keep going. This one, almost every character that we're with right now is like all interacting together except for Manon. Like Manon still like doing her thing, like with her witches and everything like that, because Manon's a witch. I hope I mentioned that. That is like not really a secret. That shouldn't be a secret or a spoiler. Manon's a witch. The witches as of right now are working for the king of Adarlan. And we're in the process of part of the book series where some people are trying to take down the king. Not really a spoiler because it's a fantasy novel. Like this is something I feel like to be expected with everything that is going on. I honestly have no idea what I've said. Anyways, Selena is back. She's back in Adarlan now. Everyone is talking and interacting with each other. Like there's all these things that are going on and like all these missions happening, and there's like this one's like really action packed. Like things are happening like the entire time. Like, and things just keep happening. And like I said, there are some things that keep making me so emo because like it's like Cole is just kind of being like, you know, like he's just kind of being Cole, and I love him, but like he's making me so emo because I'm like, dude, I just love him and I want him to, honestly, because he's not a villain in any way, shape, or form, but part of me is like, dude, I was rooting for you, and not that anything bad has actually happened with him or even to him or anything. It's just that like a situation that's kind of come up and I'm like, dude, I was rooting for you, and now I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I want him to have a redemption, but like there's no redemption to be had because like nothing's really happened, but also like kind of, you know, redemption of like things that have happened and things are going on, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm kind of like hoping for and looking for. I'm trying to think. Some characters that you heard about in some of the earlier books have come in or come back, which is crazy. Okay, in this one, crazy. That kind of surprised me and I was like, ah. And then there was one character too that I actually completely forgot about that I was like, oh. But they talked about them in Heir and I was like, who is that character? Because they weren't like from a way back when, they were from Heir. Like I think they were mentioned the first time in Heir. I can't really remember, but when the name came up, I was like, why is that name so familiar? And then I remembered who it was, and I was like, slay. That's Queen of Shadows as of right now. I don't think there's anything else I have to say. Things are gearing up, okay? This is super action-packed. I'm so excited because everyone's being reunited, all the characters are interacting. It's a good time. I'm having a fantastic time with this. I've been reading for a little while now and I'm on page 244 from the last time I had talked to you guys, and we actually just found out some big tea. We just found out some big tea with Aiden, and that's crazy. Honestly, I'm a little like it's kind of crazy. We just got like Rowan. Rowan's here now, which is also crazy, considering he was in Wendelin last time we saw him. So that's cool. So much is happening, you guys. I am now 329 pages in. So much is happening that I literally cannot tell you about because it would all be spoiling. It'd all be spoiling and I just can't say anything, but a lot of action, okay? A lot of action's going on. Well, we met Lorcan back in the other book, in Heir. I don't know if I said that. And I know I'd said earlier in either my first episode or this one sometime, I was like, when am I gonna meet Lorcan? Because I knew he was a character that appeared in this series. Didn't know who he was or what he did, but now I know. Now I know exactly who he is and what he does. Arabin and Lysandra were back in action, okay? They're back in the story. They're prevalent characters in this book. We like Lysandra now, okay? We like her. You know, I used to also want to punch her in the face. Now I don't. Now I don't. And I can appreciate that about her, okay? But yeah, so many things are happening and I can't tell you anything, okay? I just can't tell you anything. Rowan still here, going strong. Aiden going strong. Cole, Dorian, not doing so hot, but still here. Okay. Met a few other new characters. We haven't seen the king really. So many things are happening though. So many things, and I literally cannot tell you. And I feel so bad because if you like, I'm trying to even think of like what I could say that's not a spoiler, but like that could give you some context. She came back from Wendelin. Not the same. Certainly not the same. I'm literally so obsessed. I'm so obsessed. Like I don't even know. Honestly, like I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie to you guys. At first I was kind of like, what? Like I really was enjoying myself. I still am enjoying myself. I was kind of like, okay, like the series is good, but like maybe I just hyped it up so much in my head that like I'm not loving this as much as other people. But no. Yeah. Because why am I obsessed? It's not even like one thing in particular that's making me obsessed with this. It's just, I don't know. I think it's just because everything is starting to like come together and like we're just gonna see so much play out, I feel like, in the rest of this book. Because I'm now 339 pages in. I'm halfway now for sure. A little bit more than halfway, I would say, I think. I just don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know what it is about this book in particular that's like, I'm obsessed, but like I keep thinking about it. Like I keep thinking about like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go read my book. Like, oh, okay, yeah, like I'm gonna go read, you know what I mean? And like keep thinking about it, which is a good sign because I haven't felt that in a long time for a book and I'm so glad that it's this one. I just think that all of the characters bring something so different and unique to this story that it's like you can't really hate any of them or dislike any of them. You love the story for what it is. Now, do I wish that Cole and Selena were endgame? Absolutely. Because, you know, like why would she trick us like that? Like honestly, but that's not what I came on here to say. I came on here to say that I am obsessed. Okay? I'm obsessed. I don't even know what else to say. I don't even know what I actually came on here to say. I'm loving it though. Arabin, such a trickster. Arabin is so calculative, so crazily, like what? I'm sorry, that's crazy. That's so crazy that he's that calculated. That's insane. Honestly, I really wasn't expecting that. We're on part 2. Crazy things have happened. Crazy things, you guys. I am literally like, so much is happening and so much is so good. Like, I am so ecstatic. So many twists and turns I wasn't expecting. Like, so wasn't expecting. Honestly, this. Like, I knew eventually this, what's happening right now, would have happened, but not yet. Certainly not yet. Okay, and Miss Aylin. Oh, she was raised right. She was raised right to become the person that she is. Crazy. Live, laugh, love that. That is everything going on. I don't even know the last thing I updated you guys on. I never do because I'm always like, so much is happening, but we're still on Queen of Shadows, obviously. And I don't know if I stated this, but I decided to like really slow down on my reading pace with all of the books because I was just reading them before like so incredibly fast that I feel like I wasn't able to really enjoy the books as much as I should or like really grasp like all the information that's happening and everything like that because there's just so much. So I really slowed down my reading pace. So I've been reading, I think, Queen of Shadows for like a week now, or over a week at least, which the first 3 books I read in a week, you know what I mean? So same thing with like Heir. I also read that one in like roughly a week because I ended up slowing down. I just wanted to put that out there. I don't know if I had stated that, but here we are. I am 507 pages in and we have roughly only 620 630-ish pages. Let's see, 600 and basically almost 650 pages in this entire book. So I do plan to finish this book tomorrow. Hopefully I want to finish it tomorrow. But so many, this whole book has just been so action-packed and so many things are happening. This one, yes, there's a lot of information, but I feel like it's not as much as like information dump, information filled. It's more of like things are actually happening in this book and you're learning the information along the way, rather than like the characters are like doing all this stuff to learn the information, which is where I feel like in kind of Heir of Fire was kind of the case for that one. But like literally so much has happened, so many things. I don't even know what to talk about or where to even start, or like even spoilery wise, like what I would want to say of like what's happened since I last updated you, because I actually don't even remember what I updated you last on. I did get to, this is not really a spoiler, this is like a really popular line throughout the entire series, a line I knew existed before I even read the series, and that was the "you do not yield" part. I got to that part, like that line was like said for the first time, and I'm not gonna lie, a little underwhelming. A little underwhelming. I really thought it was gonna be something way bigger that said that, or like a different kind of situation. I was like, oh, this is a bit anticlimactic for me, but I assume it's gonna be bigger throughout the rest of the books then. Like if it's said again, like I'm assuming it's gonna be something much bigger, especially with the character that it happened with. It was not Selena that it happened with. Yeah, which was really weird. So I think like with the character that it happened with and like where the story might go, like it might be a little bit more dramatic throughout. But yeah, I was a little like unimpressed. I got to the line and I was like, oh, like it was a little disappointing. But I'm excited to see what the rest of the book and the series holds, because usually like the last 20% of the book is what's the most interesting, and I have a feeling of like where I think the rest of the book is gonna go. Well, not necessarily, but like certain plot lines and things like that to lead into what's gonna happen next, because obviously next episode will be the tandem read. Love that, because I'll have a whole book of Cole, which I was texting my friend the other day and I told her that like I love Cole, and she goes, ew, and I was like, rude. K, rude. Her name is K, by the way, so I was saying rude. But yeah, so I'm a little disappointed that she said that, but I know other people love him, so, and I am one of those people. Okay, I'm just one of those people. I really love the transformation. Well, not really transformation. It's more of a recent transformation, or a recent realization that he's had in this book. I haven't really gotten much of him since then. Hopefully he's like turning whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like he's not a bad person by any means. He just, you know, his whole life he's believed this one thing, and it's obviously so much change is happening to him with people who are close to him, and it's like a hard thing to kind of grasp and process, especially at the age of, I think, what, 23 is what he is. Can you really blame him? Can you really blame him? Man, 23 years old, was captain of the guard, and life has been friends with the prince for as long as he can remember, and all of a sudden all of these things are happening and he just like doesn't know how to process the information. I'm sorry, I simply cannot blame him, really. Anyways, that's this for now. You know, I'm just gonna say it. I personally don't love Aelin and Rowan. It's so weird because it feels like this very forced, like not even a relationship, because they haven't done anything other than have this weird bond to each other, and it just feels very like something that was forced. It was kind of like she wrote this character just for the heck of it to have him, whereas like his character is so strong as a character, but is now being overshadowed by his like weird, in a way, lust for Aelin, because it's very much shown on paper, but like beforehand when we were in Heir of Fire, his like character and like his growth as a character and like his strength as a character, I feel like was very prominent before anything had happened, when I'm just like, no, I'm sorry, no, like it, I don't know, I feel like it's very weird. Very forced in a way, because it was like, this story is interesting enough where it doesn't need Aelin to have someone like a romantic interest anymore. Like in the beginning, obviously, like when you're getting the story started, just see, is she gonna end up with Dorian or is she gonna end up with Cole? Like after all of that and getting to hear if her and Rowan didn't have this weird like intimacy the story itself would still be good. Like, it would still be very entertaining. Like, you don't need this to keep going. Or this is just how I feel. I personally just don't love it or feed into it. And it could be because I was just such a Cole girly, and that I was like really rooting for Cole to have like this big old, like, I don't want to say big old change, but just like have his character develop better, which obviously he's kind of been put on the back burner for someone who's been there since the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's very much on the back burner right now, just in a general sense of like everything about him. Whereas like Rowan has been like moved to the forefront, even though he was just introduced in the last book. Like, it was a very good introduction for what it was. But yeah, do you guys get what I'm saying? Do you guys understand my thoughts and feelings on it? I don't know if anyone else agrees. I was talking to my friend Kay about it, and she also said she doesn't really love like Rowan. Not that I don't love Rowan. I like Rowan. I like Rowan a lot actually as a character. I just don't love this weird dynamic between them. And it could honestly be a little tiny back part of my brain being like, because she made that weird comment in the beginning. It's almost like weirdly out of nowhere, because even in Heir, like, she definitely always talked about how like he was handsome, but it wasn't ever like a lusty type of way until like a certain point. After a certain point, she started being very like lusty about it, and it was very weird to me. But yeah, anyways, the only reason I'm like bringing this up because it's like I just don't love that. I feel like the protectiveness and the like dedication that Rowan has to Aelin could still be shown, not through this weird intimate lusty way. I don't know if this is considered a spoiler or not. The whole Rowan thing I don't think is really a spoiler, because that was stuff all that happened in Heir. So I don't know, because that's a part of this vlog. So I don't know. I've just been yapping for 7 minutes about not like this Rowan and Aelin. Anyways, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep reading. Okay, we're at a good part. Lorcan has just come back into play right now. I'm having a good time. I'm literally like at the good part. All the good stuff, like all of like the crazy shit that's going down is happening. And part of me is like, okay, do I wait till tomorrow? I really wanted to finish it today, but I'm like, do I wait till tomorrow to finish it and give myself, because I have less than 100 pages left now. But all the good stuff is happening. It's just like too late for me to also like update you guys and update my TikTok at the same time. So part of me is like, okay, I can finish it tomorrow. But then part of me is also like, I wanna know what else happened. Maybe I need to pace. I need to pace myself, because maybe tomorrow will be the better time to finish it than tonight, when I can like fully give you my full reactions, because right now I'm not giving you any. But like, oh my god, literally, it's honestly not crazy stuff. So the stuff I will tell you, I'll put in the spoiler sections. Getting comfy and cozy so we can finish Queen of Shadows in my book room where I'm meant to be reading. Like I told you guys last night, I decided to wait till today to finish Queen of Shadows. I'm just gonna lock in for like now and just finish the book out. Let's see what happens. Okay. Things are about to get crazy. Crazy. I'm literally like almost in tears, like at this part. They joined hands, so the world ended and the next one began. Like, why am I getting so sentimental? Why am I getting so sentimental about it? Like, I'm literally like in tears right now. Tell me why. What is happening to me right now? Like, I don't get it. So much is happening. Literally, what is going on? What Honestly, this is crazy. This was literally not something I was anticipating. Not even from the beginning. If it's true. If I'm sitting here freaking out and it's not true and I'm being played right now, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm just gonna be so mad if I'm being played right now. If Sarah J. Maas is playing me, oh, we're gonna have some words. Crazy. Things are crazy. Things are crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Like, what do you mean? Okay, I think the last of like the craziness has happened, because literally what I just read too was part of like Manon's like story. I think all the craziness is done, so let's kind of see. I'm gonna see obviously what is going to come of the rest of the book. She's finished. She is finished. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to think. I don't even know what to say. I'm very happy with the way it ended, because obviously like it gives a closed door but also leaves it open for what's to come, because obviously, you know, it's setting up for that tandem read, which obviously you don't have to do a tandem read, but because they're happening at the same time. But it's, yeah. Oh, thank you.
It's been a minute since you've eaten.
Yeah, I was hungry. Thank you. Oh, I love you.
Love you.
Bye. It obviously leaves the door open for what's to come in the next two books. I am excited, but I'm also a little nervous that like I may not be as entertained as I was in this one. But I mean, I guess like the series obviously gets better and better, so like yeah, I'm very excited. But this is just gonna be the end of the video. I don't really know what else to say. You guys heard my thoughts and feelings throughout, but I really enjoyed this one. This was definitely so far my favorite out of all the ones I've read. It feels so weird because at this current point right now, the first three, including like Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, and then Crown of Midnight, feel like such a different series and such a different set of books than where I am here at this one, which is crazy because there's only one book in between that happening. So like it's so crazy because it feels like such a different series already. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this. I don't know if this is going to include the spoiler section here at the end. So if this does include that, this is going to be the little warning for you to not watch the spoilers if you haven't read the series. And if you want to watch the spoilers, go right ahead. If you've seen the series, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you for our next episode, which is our tandem read. I'm so excited.
Warning! Warning! Warning!
So I am now 78 pages into Heir. And as you guys know, like obviously like Cole and Selena, I call her Selena, had been together, but then she felt betrayed by Cole because he was still loyal to the king and didn't like tell her the information about Mimia. And I'm kind of like, well, what are you expecting? I guess to be fair, she is younger, so like as someone who is older and I'm like reading this now, honestly, you have no right. Honestly, there was no reason for you to be mad because like what did you expect? He is captain of the guard, like the king's guard. Obviously, she doesn't know this because it was only set in Cole's POV, but it was like Cole had said, he was like, this may be a test from the king on if I'm telling Selena information. So he didn't tell her for that specific purpose, but also to keep Selena safe because he knew that she would do something to protect her, which also might have put her in a dangerous situation that she didn't need to be in. She's like, I just like, you know, he kept information from me and it's just like he had chosen the king. And it's like, babes, he did not really choose the king. He actually has no other choice, otherwise he'd be slaughtered. He really has no choice. He is to kind of keep both of you in this protection. He kind of has to be loyal to the king. I mean, he's literally the captain of the guard. He has to be, like, he doesn't have a choice. And the only way he would have a choice is if you guys had like left and escaped, and that was that. You know what I mean? Like that would be his disloyalty to the kingdom and to the king, as if like leaving. Like he would be dead, and it would be this whole big thing if he was then disloyal to the king and he died because of the whole thing. You know what I mean? Honestly, she is young. I think she's 18, or I don't know if she's 19 now. I think she's 19. I don't know. Literally, please don't mind how horrid I look. I'm filming this on my photo booth because I wanted to throw an extra 2 cents in here because after like watching this portion of the spoilers back, I have more I want to say on the topic because I feel like I didn't articulate very well about like what I was saying. I was just in the moment of what I was reading. I said that like she doesn't have a right to be mad, which is actually not not true. Like, she does have a right to be mad, but obviously after the fact, when you find out that Nemia's whole hand played in this into her assassination, I don't think that she had the right to be as upset with him in the way that she was, because yes, he knew that there was a threat on Nemia's life, but it really like wasn't his information to share, considering he knew Selena. Like, he knew her to a point where he knew that if he told her, she would have done something which would have then probably made the situation for all of them worse, especially with the king. So I don't blame him, especially with his position within the guard. Like, I don't blame him for not saying anything to her, because she is a hothead. Like, she will just react without thinking about it, especially since she doesn't feel like she has a female friendship like this. Like, she only has Nemia. Like, connection in that relationship that she has with her would cause her to not necessarily think straight and just be reactionary, which Cole knows. Like, he knows that, and everyone else knows that. So like, it's not like we haven't seen this side of her before, where she wouldn't just have reacted instead of like thinking things through. She has a right to be mad at him, but not to the extent that she was. Like, she was ready to kill him for what he did, even though he literally didn't do anything. He had no play in it. He was just doing his job, because at the end of the day, Cole's loyalty will always be to Dorian. It's never to the king, and he's always doing everything he is for his friend Dorian. And that's something I think that I didn't fully realize or process until that point, because like, even if he says like, because yeah, like he even said that like, oh, this is probably a test, like if I'm telling Selena information, and I can't do that, because if I do that, that's going to make it worse for all of us, and then also worse for where my loyalty truly lies, which is with Dorian, and for Dorian to one day be king and change all of this. So he couldn't risk that. And then also, she like was so mad that he kept a secret from her, and I'm like, babes, that's like the pot calling the kettle black. Like, come on. You keep secrets, even now where I'm at in my reading journey with in the entire series, like, right? Like, she keeps secrets from everybody. She literally doesn't tell anyone anything, which I get, but even people who are trying to help her and people who kind of need to know information, and then she just doesn't tell them. So I'm like, Miss Girl, that's not a valid reason. You can't be like, oh, he kept information from me, and then still be pining about it because he kept information, and be like, I can't forgive him because he kept information from me. I'm like, Miss Girl, you keep information from everybody. You keep information from everybody, and then get mad when things don't go your way, or when people get mad at you for keeping the information. The math isn't mathing. I'm sorry. So I just wanted to add that in there, because I am just such a Cole girl, and he's just such a character that I feel like people just like, the whole point is, I guess, to hate him or like not to like him anymore, because he's like this and this, which I'm just like, no, there's just so much more to him than what is led on. And that's like the way that Sarah J Maas writes him, like on purpose. She wants you to see him this particular way, but like if you look at all the underlying stuff about him, it's kind of like that's not who he is. He's just being true to his core, which is his loyalty to his friend, and doing what he thinks is right in the moment based off of all the information that he has. So anyways, I just wanted to put that in there. I hope that helped or cleared things up. So much has happened, but also not a lot has happened. I'm 200 pages in, so everything is starting to like heat up like a lot, and I'm actually like getting into it. Rowan and Selena, they are training because he's trying to keep getting her to shift into her Fae form and everything like that. They not defeated, but they, the whole Skinwalker interaction and like Selena using like her fire for the first time has all happened and everything. The witches, oh my god, the witches. That is like a plot line that like I honestly keep forgetting about, but then once I get to it and I actually start reading it, I'm like, oh, this is good, because obviously the king is using the witches and the wyvern to obviously like build his army. And then so Manon is one of the coven leaders, I think she is, of the 13, and the 13 is like this important coven, or like this strong coven, things like that. I can't really remember exactly how they described it, but it's one of like the better, like bigger, not bigger ones, but one of the more like exclusive ones, essentially. Like to be part of the 13 is like an honor, right? And then there's also multiple different covens or multiple different types of witches. Like there's the blue bloods, the yellow legs, there we go, Blackbeak. I can't remember them all, but they all mean different things, and they're all like literally like, they all kind of like hate each other. They're all like, they fight with each other, and it's just like crazy, you know what I mean? And they all have like iron teeth, and nails, crazy. Okay, those bitches are crazy. Using the witches, and like when I see all of that stuff, like honestly, that really reminds me of Fourth Wing, and like part of me is kind of like, oh, like did like Rebecca Yarros get the idea from, or like some parts of the ideas from this like particular series or this particular book? Because obviously I see the similarities so far. I obviously have not gotten that far into it. Manon keeps talking about how like there's going to be these war games to decide who's going to be like the wing leader, and so obviously very similar, very same. I don't think I've talked about Aiden or Aedion. I keep calling him Aiden because I'm like, that's just what seems like that name would be pronounced as. But also part of me is like, well, this is a fantasy book, so I'm like, is it Aedion? But Aiden, I'm calling him Aiden. Anytime I read it, I'm like, Aiden. I have completely neglected Aiden. Like anytime I've updated you, I don't even know how many times I've updated you since starting this book. Aiden is basically like a traitor to the crown because he is related to Selena. He is Selena's cousin, I'm pretty positive, and essentially like he is Aelin's protector. Like I think what I just read, he explained it as like he took a blood oath to be her protector, and like he is like the one person that she would be able to 100% like trust no matter what, because he took a blood oath to protect Aelin, who is now the queen of Terrasen. So he has been a general for the king of Adarlan, but he's actually like a faker. A faker, because you find out all of like the massacres and all of like the wars and everything like that, obviously, as you know if you've read the books, was false. He like faked all of them to like be in favor with the king and everything. Aiden and Cole are in the cahoots because Cole told Aiden that Aelin and Selena, same person, and that Aelin's alive. So that's an interesting storyline as well, and that is a character I don't remember at all like being talked about when I've heard people talk about Third of Glass. Obviously there were particular characters that I remember always being talked about, and then Dorian knows that Cole and Aiden are in cahoots because he overheard them, and then now they all know. It just got confirmed that Dorian now knows who Aelin is, like who Selena is, that she's Aelin, because he was just like, oh my god. But at least like in literally what I just read, he's like second guessing like, oh, like she's like everything that he and her have ever been, like even though that now that they're like friends, he like second guessed that. And I'm like, bro, of all things that you know about her, that is one of them that you should not be second guessing, because clearly like she doesn't want anyone to know who she is for a reason, and she's never really tried to like essentially stop the crown before, like, or stop your father before. Chill out, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, like Selena and Rowan, like I said, that's getting good. You know, she's met her aunt Maeve. I'm pretty positive it was Maeve. Yeah, you're getting this weird, like you're getting a point of view of a healer right now too, Sorsha I think her name is, with Dorian. So I don't know where that's going, why we're getting her POV or why she's important, but maybe obviously she'll be important eventually if she's getting a POV, but she's obviously someone who didn't talk about or isn't talked about throughout the series, so I don't know how important she actually is. But okay, now that I'm on the topic of like Dorian though, because that's who Dorian's interacting with, is I saw a spoiler on TikTok by accident about Dorian and Manon and that they get together, and I'm like, first of all, kind of surprising. Honestly, like that did shock me when I saw it, but I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't looking for a spoiler. It just like appeared. If you guys remember, I talked about in like the don't want spoiler section of like how it happened. But anyway, I saw that Manon and Dorian get together at one point, and I'm like, goddamn, I wish I would have been more surprised. I would have rather been more surprised. You're still learning so much information, but so many things again are like falling into place where it's not like it's like these big plot reveals or anything like that are happening throughout the book. You know what I mean? Like it's obviously like the stories being told and we're finding out information, so it's very much like weird, because I feel like I should be like like, you know what I mean, a little bit more surprised about things, but I'm like not. Like I'm reading it as I'm going and I'm like, okay, yeah, like this is all making sense. It's finally coming together, you know what I mean? Like Kronk when he's talking about the poison, that poison Cusco's, you know what I mean? Cusco, like that's what's kind of happening right now, and that's what this is feeling like. Like so many things are just like lining up and aligning, and you're just like, okay, yeah, making sense. We're getting somewhere. We're getting to another. But I have no idea where anything's going. No idea. I do think that she's going to like accept her. I do think Selena's going to accept her new identity by the end of the book, for sure. Like she's going to accept the fact that she's Aelin and go by that, you know, a certain way. But it's so weird, honestly, to like call her Aelin, because I've read since starting it. This is the 4th book that I'm reading, right? So technically it's the 3rd in the series. But even if it being the third. It feels weird to call her anything but Selena. Calling her Aelin is so weird for me, which I feel like maybe the other characters are gonna feel weird about it too, you know? Anyways, just gonna stop yapping and I'm gonna read because I want to know more tea. Halfway through Heir, okay? And some spoilery things that I wanted to talk about. For one, okay, I actually can't really remember exactly certain things that were going on, but clearly they weren't that important for me to want to talk about them. But one of the things that I want to talk about is Rowan and Selena. Well, tell me why. Okay, in the beginning, when you first meet Rowan with Selena, I did not anticipate anything romantic happening between them. Like, I was kind of like, I'm not even at the part where anything romantic has happened between them, but I'm at the point where, like, I didn't think anything was gonna happen, like, at all. I was kind of like, well, why is she gonna introduce yet another possible love interest for this girl when we've had fucking 3? Like, we need to stop. So there was that. And then when we get to Wendelin, and well, it's not necessarily Wendelin. I don't necessarily know, but it's Maeve's territory. Maeve's whatever we're talking about, she gets to. And Maeve talks about how Rowan is one of her, like, most trusted warriors, and that her and Rowan have shared bloodline. And, like, that they have distant relations, right? And then so another point, Selena was like, we're related, remember? Rowan's been alive for a very long time. Like, longer than, obviously, Selena, but, like, not thousands, maybe hundreds of years. Like, I want to say at least 500. At least 500, okay? He's been alive. He's like, we're no more related than this or this. Like, he's like, we're not, like, related, essentially, is what he was saying. But then, now, Selena, like, weirdly falls in love with everyone. Like, she, like, is low-key into everyone, and she's, like, weirdly attached, and I can understand why. It doesn't really make sense why she's attached to him, necessarily. Like, she's spending a lot of time with him, but, like, it kind of comes out of nowhere for me. Like, I don't know, like, I'm usually, like, better picking up on certain things, but, like, it almost comes out of nowhere. Essentially, like, out of nowhere, kind of was super into Sam, right, from Assassin's Blade. And then we get to Throne of Glass, and she, like, talks about how handsome Dorian is, but then it's, like, very much like, okay, now I'm really attracted to Dorian. Kind of out of nowhere. And then, throughout Throne of Glass, she mentions that Cole is handsome and stuff like that, and it's kind of like, okay, like, I could see her being with Cole eventually. Then we get to Crown of Midnight, and suddenly, well, not suddenly, it's not very suddenly, but, like, because she's spending so much time with Cole, and Cole is not being as much of a dick, she's super into him. We've recognized a pattern. There is a pattern here that we're following. That same pattern is following with Rowan, I think, because, like, she's so weirdly attached to him because she was just like, you left me and didn't say anything. Like, you, like, and it's like this fear of abandonment that she has, which, again, I understand. But then he's like, you are, like, nothing to me. And I guess she just loves men who are mean to her. I guess she just loves a fucking, closed off man or whatnot. So anyway, there's that. I don't know if anything romantic is going to happen between them, but I think there's going to be. I can't imagine her not writing some type of plot with that at this point, because I'm kind of like, what the heck? And then I'm going to be like, why would you do that? Because in the beginning of the book, she's still fucking, what is she? Pining over Cole. And she's, like, yearning over him still. Like, she just, like, like, essentially, like, thinks about him and is, like, sad and gets jealous when she sees other people who can be with the person that they want to be with and she can't be, and she's thinking about Cole during those times. And then I'm like, so we just forgot about him because he's out of sight, out of mind? Oh, and then there's also with Dorian and the healer, I'm kind of like, what the fuck? Out of nowhere. I don't know if I said anything about Aiden and Cole, like, basically joining forces together in a weird way. They're not really joining forces, but, like, Cole knows that Aiden is loyal to Aelin, who is Selena, as we know at this point. Like, he trusts that. He doesn't necessarily, I think, trust Aiden, and vice versa. I think Aiden trusts Cole because he loves Selena and is loyal to Selena, but also knows who he works for. They both work for the same person. Yeah, it's like the weird thing that's going on. Anyways, that's that. I think that's all I have to say, because what else is there for me to update you on? I feel like there's just so many POVs we're bouncing between that, like, it's just like not a lot has actually happened between each POV, you know? Like, not a lot has happened in progress in each one of those stories. The other thing, someone pronounced her name as Manon and not Manon, and I'm kind of like, am I dumb? Have I been pronouncing it wrong this whole time? Or did she just really mispronounce that? Manon? M-A-N-O-N. which yes, but Manon, M-A-N, man, nen, yeah, Manon or Manon. I feel like I've seen someone's name as Manon and it's spelt that way, not Manon. Someone please tell me. Someone please tell me if I'm stupid and I'm really pronouncing it Manon and it's meant to be Manon. I'm not crazy and it's Manon. Just either put, if you're gonna tell me, just put you're crazy or you're not crazy to let me know which one is right. Because I'm not crazy if it's Manon. No. If it's Manon. I'm not crazy if it's Manon. Because that's the way it seems like it would be spelled. Or said. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna read. I don't remember the last spoiler that I even updated you guys on, but where I'm at now, I'm 60 pages left, essentially, in the book. We figured out that the creatures that were, like, killing the demi-fae, those were the princes, like the Valge, so that was kind of crazy. Selena also figured out the last word key, and then Cole also figured out how the king had, like, stopped all the magic within the kingdom, which is also kind of crazy. It's so weird because we're following so many different stories here that all eventually obviously lead into like this one big thing. So it's like very hard to follow, but like, yeah, so basically, so Selena now has essentially taken on like her true name, which is Aelin Galathinius, because she is now the queen. Like, she is the like rightful queen to the throne of Terrasen, right? So she's kind of taken on after that like intense battle where the like those creatures that were killing demi-fae and like the soldier, like the guard from like a darling, like how they like infiltrated where she is. I can't remember what it's called. Mistold? I don't remember. They didn't say it very often, but yeah, they infiltrated there because they wanted to get to Donarel. I literally just read them in my head. Doranel. Okay, I just read them in my head however it's easiest for me, and then when I actually go to say them, I second guess myself because I'm like, I don't think that's right, because I just say it in my head as it's like clear to me. So anyways, because they wanted to infiltrate there, but they stopped them, obviously, and that's what happened. And that was like a really big like long like battle scene where it was just like so much happened. Oh, and you found out so much about like what happened to Selena when her family was all killed and like how all of that happened. And basically when you find that out, I mean, granted, you guys know this information, I'm just like repeating it, and like information that I'm like kind of not like, but you know, is like the fact that the king orchestrated all that and that he'd been planning this for so long, which is so insane. I'm like, this mortal ass king planned all of this for this long. Like, he had to plan for decades. I want to say like it had to have been decades before he even took the throne. Like, he had to have done that, or I can't remember if it was said that he had taken the throne like very young or whatnot, but he, like, as we know, like from the previous books, that he found the first word key very early on, according to Mort, who was the door person, which I'm not like, I don't remember if he was the king at that point or if he was just the prince. And then the king had the clock tower built, right? But it's like he had to have had those plans set into motion from a very young age, knowing what he wanted to do, and that's insane to me. Like, that's so insane that he did that. He is insane. That's so crazy. I haven't gotten to the part yet, but now Selena is about to go see Maeve. And I haven't heard from Manon in a while, so I wonder if we're gonna get her before this book ends. But yeah, I have no idea what the king plans to do with the witches and the wyvern. Like I know he wants them to be like his army and stuff for something, but I have no idea. I have no idea where he's going with that, or like what's gonna happen with that at all. They're still like in training, like, so I don't know. Anyways, that's not really important. But anyway, I think that's all of the updates I have in there of like what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. I have no theories. I literally have no idea where this is going, honestly. And that's one of the greatest things about this, is that I literally have no idea where she's taking this, and I absolutely love that, because I'm kind of like surprised no matter what. I'm like, oh my god, like certain things I can figure out, but like when I have no idea where she's taking it, I'm kind of like, that's honestly a slay. Like, that's so cool. Like, I love that that I have no idea, right? Yeah, I've definitely gotten a lot more into this book like by this part in the end than I was in the beginning. It was very like, I felt like just a big build-up. Anyways, we're going. Okay, literally, like, I knew this Sorsha girl had something to do with this book, but her being a traitor was not one. Her being a traitor was not one. That's kind of crazy. I should have expected it, honestly. I'm 224 pages in. I have not updated you once, but there have been so many things that I've been wanting to say and talk about, and just like, I just haven't been able to like come on and like talk about them because it's just like, I just haven't. You guys, and I was so like entranced with the book, as you guys like heard from me say like in the actual like non-spoilery section. I love that everyone is actually all together and everyone is like actually interacting, compared to Heir, where I felt like no one was interacting, obviously, because they were all their own separate storylines. Celaena, who's now Aelin, as you guys know, she goes by Aelin now, is back in Adarlan, took off the ring. She took off Cole's ring and then she gave it back, and then Cole pawned it. And I'm like, well, that's it. That's it. I said, if he pawned it, that's it. That's it for them. So yeah, that's making me really, really emo. Cole's also making me really emo because he's just kind of being he's just being like so and I love him. I love him so much, and it just like actually angers me, and it just like annoys me that he's being like this because I'm like rooting for him, and I'm like, dude, I love you. I want you to stop being this way. I want you to just stop being this way. And like, he kind of needs a redemption because I'm like, this is not, we cannot be doing this. We cannot be doing this. So if you've read the book series before, as you guys know, Cole essentially fled the kingdom, so he's no longer captain of the guard. Obviously he fled because because obviously after everything that ended with Heir, with like the obsidian stone going on Dorian, and now like having a Valge prince inside of him, Cole has stayed so that he can like essentially try and save Dorian and like figure out how to like help out the rebels, and like now he's like part of the rebel group and like trying to essentially take down the king, but also like his main goal is to save Dorian and to get Dorian on the throne. Essentially he just, for some reason, like, and Celaena is back, which he knows because they ran into each other, as I just mentioned, and they're like now also working together because they also like the whole thing with like Aiden being saved. He's been saved now, and honestly that was really good. That was all really action-packed. Loved that. There is a weird thing with that I will mention in a second, but yeah, they're all working together, and Celaena tried to kill Dorian kind of because she has fought a Valge prince before, obviously, and is like literally cannot be saved. Like, so I don't know what they're gonna do to save Dorian, because obviously I know he doesn't, I don't think he dies. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. But Cole is just like so mad at Celaena, or like so like can't like accept her as she is, like knowing that one, she's the Queen Terrasen, and then that she's half Fae, and that, you know, she, you know, like, and like all this thing, he's like called her, like essentially he's called her a monster and everything like that, and it's just like still shocked and surprised about who Celaena is, and like that she was raised as an assassin as it was, and like now that she's this person and that she could just like murder people, and like he still just like doesn't like get that or like understand that, and I'm like, dude, like what the heck, like dude, why is that such a concept you can't grasp? Like, I don't understand, you know what I mean? And it's just annoying me because it's almost like the broodiness that we got in the first book with him is back, but like in a different way, like not in a good kind of broodiness way of like him trying to be distant from this assassin who he knows is bad, considering he was, you know, the captain for the king, but still wanted to be with her anyway. Now it's just more of like, I don't know if it's like, he's definitely not repulsed. Like, I don't think it's that. It's just more of like, he's just so, maybe like, he just can't grasp this. I don't know. He just like cannot grasp who Celaena is and like what, or who Aelin is. You know, he just can't grasp that Aelin is this person and like this is who she's going to be and what is going to happen, right? And that thinks that like she's just a cold-blooded murderess and is kind of like a horrible person, which is just not true. Like, just simply not true. You know, she's done what she's had to do to survive. Anyways, and then also Arabin, he's back. Lysandra, she's back. Lysandra and Aelin, friends now. Honestly, it wasn't on my bingo card, but honestly kind of liking it. Kind of liking the friendship, not gonna lie. But we like her now, I guess. Arabin is so manipulative. You guys, he's so manipulative. It's kind of crazy. And I like seeing this whole weirdness between Aelin and Arabin, because Arabin knows who Celaena's been like this whole time. Like, he knew that she was a queen, knew that her real name was Aelin. Like, he knew the entire time. And he also has the necklace that she lost when she was a kid. And so that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to get it back. Arabin helped aid in the saving of Aiden as well. Celaena and Lysandra are also trying to betray Arabin and like take him down as well and stuff, so he can stop like using them and manipulating them and the whole 9 yards. There's like so much more that goes on in that. Yeah, like so many more things. The Valge also are like
taking people of the rebel groups, or like people that they can then use to like infect with more Valge princes, which you kind of find out within Manon's chapters when she's going on like about the wyvern and stuff, and like her training and like all the stuff like to be used as the king's army. Alide, whatever her name is, you find out that she's a witch. She's one of the people. I'll go into more detail I guess about her later because I just found out all that information about her. But yeah, so the weird thing I did want to talk about though, and it was weird that they did this, like Sarah J Maas did this with Rowan as well, that like Rowan and Selena, or like Aelin, have like this obviously like now this bond because he took a blood oath to her to protect her and her court and the whole thing. I am like, but also like she mentioned how they were like they had ancestry like in their like same bloodlines. Aiden and Selena have been like cousins, like they're cousins, like they keep saying that they're cousins, but like the weird things that they keep saying, or that Sarah J Maas is like writing, I'm like, this is like kind of weird for the fact that you've said that they're cousins, because Aiden is also, he's not half Fae, but he has Fae in his blood, so he has like Fae, not necessarily abilities, but like he can like recover faster, he also has better hearing, he also has way better smell, like he has all like the Fae instincts essentially, like Rowan also has. He like knows that Aelin has a certain scent from when she was a kid, and then when they were together to now, like he's like, it's the same scent, like, and I know exactly like when I smelled it, like it was her, and that it was, you know, but they keep bringing up all of these like weird things like that, like yeah, the whole territorial part of being a Fae and stuff like that, and I'm just like, the way that like she's writing it and describing it is very intimate and very weird for me, honestly, because it's like they're related, like why are you writing it like that? Like I can understand if you were writing it in a sense of like, okay, like this is like someone who's her like in a way her person, but like that's not her mate, you know what I mean? They're not like mates or anything like that, and like they're cousins, and like the way, and like nothing weird has happened between them, like nothing romantic, that, and I don't think anything romantic is gonna happen, like I can't imagine something romantic is gonna happen, but the way she's writing it is very, very intimate, and it's very, very weird, because I'm like, okay, there's a way to write this that's not intimate considering they're related. So it's very, very weird. Here we are. I'm, like I said, 224 pages in, and I will, I guess, update you guys later. I just wanted to give you this update in my little book room. I don't know where I'm going to be reading next. Maybe in my room, in my bed, like always. Big tea that we just found out about Aiden is that Gavriel, who's in the cadre, or whatever it's called, is not Rowan's, is Aiden's dad. That's crazy. Oh my god. Literally, that's so wild. And Rowan's here. Rowan traveled all the way to come see Aelin, be there because obviously like Aelin and Rowan are now like weirdly bonded, so like he came. That's crazy. Oh my god, that's some tea. That's some major tea. 329 pages in, I'm on chapter 40. Lorcan here in Adarlan, okay? Lorcan and Lorcan, I should say, and Aelin have had their run-in, alright, where he killed like the Valge princes and stuff like that, or the Valge demons things. Rowan is still there. She's about to meet up with Arabin. She already has her plan to kill Arabin. What else has happened? I don't even know. What else has happened since I last updated you? But yeah, she's doing a whole bunch of stuff. Aiden's still out for the count. And something I did want to bring up though, because I thought it would be so funny, is like, because ever since Aelin had learned about like what mates were, she now is kind of like wondering who could possibly be her mate. And I'm like, lol, what if it's Lorcan? LOL, what if it was Lorcan? Because Lorcan wants to kill her now because of Maeve. Like Maeve has sent Lorcan to kill her, and he's like he's bitter. Man's bitter. And I was like, lol, what if her mate is Lorcan? Probably not, but Rowan did say that it could take a minute before it snaps into place, you know, because it can't be Rowan, because Rowan already had his mate, and as far as I know, you cannot mate more than once. I really don't think you can, like according to Sarah J Maas universe. I do not think that's a thing. I just want to pop that in there because I was like, lol, what if it's Lorcan? What if it's Lorcan, her mate? She's trying to figure out how to kill the wardhounds, and also trying to start magic again. So yeah. Arabin? Such a trickster. I literally just read the part where obviously Aelin brought the Valge to him, and they were trying to like, you know, get the information out of it or whatever. And then he slipped the ring on her finger and tried to like get her to be like his like prisoner. What's the word? I don't know. But either way, Arabin is so calculative, crazily, like what? I'm sorry, that's crazy. Okay, but also, like, I know that, like, she's not actually, because she used a fake one. She used a fake ring, because she, obviously, when they were interrogating him, her and Rowan were doing it on a separate note, she swapped him out
with something else. So that's so crazy that he's that calculated. That's insane. Honestly, I really wasn't expecting that. Like, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting something of the sort of him betraying her, but not like that. Like, that's crazy. He wanted to have basically the Queen of Terrasen at his fucking beck and call. So literally, I don't even know what I had told you last time about things when I updated you, because let me tell you, did I tell you that he tried to trick her into being, yes, I think I did. So she let Lysandra murder Arabin. Arabin is dead. Crazy, okay? Literally crazy. Anyways, Selena's plan, or not Selena, Aylin's plan, wild. She's a wild girl. She is Miss Wild Girl. All those times she went to the bank, that was to be able to switch the wills, because when Arabin died, guess who he left everything to? Selena Sardathian. So crazy. Live, laugh, love that. And I really wasn't expecting him to be murdered this early on. Like, it's really not that early on, considering it's fourth, fifth book, and but he wasn't really in the other ones. Like, he wasn't really in it, like he was in this one, and I just wasn't expecting it to happen now. I figured that it would happen right before the end, you know what I mean? Like, right before the end of, like, Kingdom of Ash, like, right before we got to Kingdom of Ash or something. But no. Bro's dead. Bro is dead. So, I'm just gonna say it. I personally don't love Aelin and Rowan. I just don't. It feels like this very forced, like not even a relationship, because they haven't done anything other than have this weird, fae bond to each other that's not a mate bond. And it just feels very like something that was forced. It was kind of like she wrote this character just for the heck of it to have him. Whereas, his character is so strong as a character, but is now being overshadowed by his, weird, in a way, lust for Aelin, because it's very much shown on paper, but beforehand, when we were in Heir of Fire, his character and his growth as a character and his strength as a character, I feel was very prominent. And before anything had happened, before she started writing that weird primal urge, as they keep talking about, or what is it, he literally just said it, some primal part of him, that she was knowing that she was covered in his scent because she was wearing his shirt. I'm just no, I'm sorry, no, I don't know, I feel it's very weird. Very forced in a way, because it was this story is interesting enough where it doesn't need Aelin to have someone like a romantic interest anymore. Like in the beginning, obviously, when you're getting the story started, just see is she gonna end up with Dorian or is she gonna end up with Cole? After all of that and getting to hear, if her and Rowan didn't have this weird intimacy, weird bond, the story itself would still be good. It would still be very entertaining. You don't need this to keep going, or this is just how I feel. I personally just don't love it or feed into it, and it could be because I was just such a Cole girly, and that I was really rooting for Cole to have this big old I don't want to say big old change, just have his character develop, which obviously he's kind of been put on the back burner for someone who's been there since the beginning. You know what I mean? I feel he's very much on the back burner right now, just in a general sense of everything about him, whereas Rowan has been moved to the forefront, even though he was just introduced in the last book, and it was a very good introduction for what it was. Yeah, do you guys get what I'm saying? Do you guys understand my thoughts and feelings on it? I don't know if anyone else agrees. I was talking to my friend Kay about it, and she also said she doesn't really love Rowan. Not that I don't love Rowan. I like Rowan a lot, actually, as a character. I just don't love this weird dynamic between them, and it could honestly be a little tiny back part of my brain being because she made that weird comment in the beginning about them having shared bloodline, and I'm or shared ancestry, even though Rowan is 500 years old. That's where I'm at. I don't mind the whole fact that they have this bond, Karanam, whatever it's called. I don't really know. Can't remember the name, but I don't mind that. I actually kind of like that aspect, and I feel that would make their partnership and their team partnership more if it was solely there was no weird attraction there, because it's almost weirdly out of nowhere, because even in Fire, she definitely always talked about how he was handsome, but it wasn't ever a lusty type of way until like a certain point. After a certain point, she started being very like lusty about it, and it was very weird, very weird to me. But yeah, anyways, the only reason I'm like bringing this up because it's like I just don't love that. Just don't love this. Like I feel like he could still like the protectiveness and the like dedication that Rowan has to Aelin could still be shown, not through this weird intimate lusty way. You know what I mean? Just the way Aiden shows, right? Like Aiden shows it because like that is his cousin, and he knows that he was gonna give the blood bond to her to protect her, and like he always had that in the back of his mind, what he feels like he was called to do, right? Like he feels like he was called to do that for her, and he wants to do that for her, right? Obviously because they're cousins. Like she drew the line there, but like she didn't have to even write them as cousins. She could have just wrote them as childhood friends, or like, you know, like he was in a child of, you know, her father's advisor or like whatever, and it was just kind of like the next stepping stone of like, oh no, like my son is going to take my place obviously when Aelin becomes queen. You know what I mean? Like it's like a very much a stepping stone, like king stepped down, king's guard, whatever, steps down, and then it moved from Aelin to Aiden. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep reading. Okay, we're at a good part. We're at a good part. They're blowing up the tower. If you've read the books, you guys know. They're blowing up the tower, or they're trying to blow up the tower. Lorcan lied. He didn't kill all the wardhounds. The king knew that Selena was Aelin, and that he is now like using Dorian against them. Cole and Selena, well, Cole and Aelin at this point had this deal, well not deal, had this plan that she was going to pretend to be Selena again and walk in as his champion with Cole in chains, right? So that's what they did. King knew the whole time. Of fucking course he does, right? Of fucking course he does. Now Rowan and Aiden are down in like the crypt area to like have the blow up the tower, and that's and you know, like things are about to go down. Things are about to go down with this. So much about to go down. Crazy shit. It has to go down. Craziness, because so much has just happened. Like so much has just happened because she literally just said that the Eye of Elena could be used to unlock Erewhon's tomb, which is obviously what the king is trying to do. The king is trying to open up Erewhon's tomb. I don't know if I ever talked about that, but he's trying to open up Erewhon's tomb, and Erewhon is like the king of the Valge, essentially. I think that's what he is. I think he's like the king of the Valge, and trying to get him out, and he's on Morak, which is why Manon and all of them, and like Duke Parrington, are all at Morak because they're trying to like wake him. So many things. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna read it tomorrow. They freed the magic. They freed the magic. They freed the magic. Things are about to get crazy. Crazy. Not Lysandra coming back. Coming back as a ghost leopard. I'm literally like almost in tears, like at this part. They got the Wordstone collar off Dorian, and literally when he like came back as like himself, and like he acknowledged everything that was himself, he literally, Aelin extended her hand, a question and an offer and a promise. To a better future, she said. You came back, he said, as if that were an answer. They joined hands, so the world ended, and the next one began. Like, why am I getting so sentimental? Why am I getting so sentimental about it? Like, I'm literally like in tears right now. This is crazy. This was literally not something I was anticipating. Not even from the beginning. If it's true. If I'm sitting here freaking out and it's not true and I'm being played right now, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm just gonna be so mad if I'm being played right now. If Sarah J Maas is playing me, oh, we're gonna have some words. Because what do you mean that Erewhon is free and is actually Duke Parrington? And that everything that the king did, everything that he did was not necessarily by his hand, because he also was corrupted, but also to keep Dorian safe, because he wanted to keep Dorian safe. The king is literally begging his life to be ended. That's so crazy. Okay, I think the last of like the craziness has happened, because literally what I just read too was part of like Manon's like story, and what happened was like Alid was trapped in a dungeon by her uncle, and what was his name? Cormac, who's Dorian's cousin, became one of like the Valge princes. Like they tricked him into it. He was then supposed to be the one who like impregnated Alid. Gross. Manon got Alid out, and then Kaltain saved them. And like I was like, okay, this bitch is
This bitch, and it was already revealed a while ago that she, and I can't remember if I said anything, but it was already revealed a while ago that she had like kind of killed the demon that was inside of her, and she had just been pretending. Kaltain has the shadow fire, so Kaltain, she literally burned Morath essentially to the ground. Burned it to the ground. The 13 got out. So what I think now is going to happen, my theory for the rest of what's to come in the book, I don't know if we're going to get to there, that I think because Dorian is now the king, because the king is dead. Did I say that? The king is dead. By the way, Aelin killed him, and Dorian, Aelin, and all of them are like resting, and like Dorian's now the king, right? He's becoming like the king and whatnot. So I think what's gonna happen is, because Duke Parrington is the actual like demon king, like the Valge prince, like the Valge demons, I think because Manon is gonna side with Dorian, and I think Dorian and Aelin obviously are going to like essentially join forces to destroy him, because obviously where else is this gonna go? Like, where else is this gonna go? You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine anything else happening. I think Manon, like, I think the 13, especially since Manon is like, my grandmother sold us to these people, like essentially sold us, and she's like, I'm not standing for that. I'm not standing for that. So I think what's gonna happen is like Manon and the 13 obviously and their Warven are going to join Dorian's, because essentially they do have a oath to the king. They do have to the king a Darlin, not Duke Parrington. Sly, slicky slick. Yeah, they are still going to serve essentially a Darlin, but now that Dorian is king, it's to take down Duke Parrington. That's what I think is like roughly going to happen, like throughout the rest of like to get to Kingdom of Ash and stuff like that, what's going to happen. But yeah, so I think all the craziness is done, so let's kind of see. I'm going to see obviously what is going to come of the rest of the book.